Heights School Horror Stories. The first story. Echoes of Dread, the Millwood High Haunting. High school was supposed to be a fresh start. My family had just moved to the quaint town of Millwood, and as I walked through the halls of Millwood High for the first time, I couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation mixed with nervousness. But it wasn't long before I realized that my new beginning might be more terrifying than I could ever imagine. Millwood High had a reputation, one that sent shivers down the spines of its students. Whispers of hauntings and strange occurrences had been passed down from one class to the next. It was said that the school had a dark history, one that left behind echoes of dread. As I navigated through the sea of unfamiliar faces, I couldn't help but wonder if there was any truth to the tales that I soon met a group of students who shared my fascination with the supernatural. We called ourselves the Paranormal Pioneers. Together, we decided to delve into the mysteries of Millwood High. Armed with curiosity, cameras, and voice recorders, we set out to investigate the eerie occurrences that plagued our school. Our investigations led us to ghostly encounters that sent chills down our spines. Shadowy figures in the hallways, disembodied voices in the empty classrooms, and unexplained cold spots became a part of our daily lives. It was as though the spirits of the past were reaching out to us, seeking to communicate. One day, during one of our explorations, we stumbled upon an old diary hidden within a dusty storage room. Its pages were filled with the handwritten accounts of a student who had attended Millwood High decades ago. The diary revealed a chilling story of unrequited love, betrayal, and a tragic death that had been shrouded in mystery. We knew we had uncovered a crucial piece of the puzzle. As we dug deeper into the diary's secrets, we uncovered the story of a restless spirit seeking vengeance. It had been wronged in life, and it was determined to make its tormentors pay, even if it meant terrorizing the living. The spirit's malevolence escalated, and we were faced with the chilling realization that we were in over our heads. Determined to put the spirit to rest, the Paranormal Pioneers delved into the dark world of rituals and incantations. We had to find a way to appease the vengeful entity, but our actions had unintended consequences. We awakened something far more sinister than we could have ever imagined. The malevolent entity we had stirred up began to torment us in ways we could never have anticipated. It played on our fears, used our insecurities against us, and made us question our sanity. We were trapped in a nightmare that seemed to have no end. As the hauntings grew more intense, our group began to unravel. Paranoia and fear tore at our bonds of friendship. We couldn't trust our own senses, and the lines between reality and the supernatural blurred. We were descending into madness, and the entity seemed to revel in our suffering. With our group on the brink of collapse, we decided to face the entity one last time. Armed with knowledge, courage, and a desperate need to survive, we ventured into the heart of the haunting. What awaited us in the depths of Millwood High would test the limits of our bravery and push us to confront the most dreadful truth of all. The entity was put to rest, but the price we paid was steep. Millwood High would never be the same, and neither would we. The haunting had left scars that would never fully heal, and we had lost friends along the way. We were left with a chilling reminder that some mysteries are better left unsolved. As I walked away from Millwood High for the last time, I couldn't help but reflect on the lessons I had learned. High school had taught me more than just academics. It had shown me the depths of fear, the strength of friendship, and the enduring power of the unknown. Millwood High would forever be etched in my memory as a place where echoes of dread lingered, a reminder that the past has a way of reaching into the present, and some secrets are best left buried. The second story, The Haunting of Hollowbrook High. The wind whispered through the trees as I approached Hollowbrook High School, a place where fear had taken root. I was just an ordinary student, new to this small town and oblivious to the chilling tales that clung to the old building like a shroud. As I walked through the rustling leaves and past the weathered brick facade, I had no idea that my life was about to take a terrifying turn. It was my first day at Hollowbrook High, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of trepidation. The school had a dark history, one that had been whispered about for generations. They said it was haunted, cursed even. As I entered the imposing front doors, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me, something that had been lurking in the shadows for far too long. It didn't take long for me to hear the whispers. Students spoke in hushed tones about strange occurrences, eerie sounds in the empty halls, and ghostly figures glimpsed in the dead of night. I wanted to dismiss them as mere stories, but the fear in their eyes was all too real. Hollowbrook High held secrets, and I was determined to uncover them. I soon discovered a group of students who shared my curiosity. They called themselves the Seekers. Late at night, armed with flashlights and a shared desire for the truth, we ventured into the school's darkest corners, seeking answers to the mysteries that plagued Hollowbrook High. During one of our explorations, we stumbled upon a hidden compartment in an old oak desk. Inside, we found a dusty, leather-bound diary with pages that had turned yellow with age. It belonged to a student from the 1950s, and its entries revealed a chilling tale of unrequited love, betrayal, and a tragedy that had never been fully explained. The diary hinted at a malevolent presence, one that had tormented the student in life and continued to do so in death. It became clear that Hollowbrook High was not just a place of learning, it was a place where a vengeful spirit sought retribution. As our investigations deepened, the haunting escalated. We delved into the school's history, uncovering long-buried secrets and unearthing the tragic events that had scarred its walls. The more we learned, the more the malevolent entity that haunted Hollowbrook High seemed to retaliate. It played with our fears, manipulating our reality, and making us question our own sanity. Determined to put an end to the malevolent spirit's reign of terror, the Seekers and I prepared for a final confrontation. We researched rituals and incantations, hoping to appease the entity and send it to the afterlife. The night we attempted the ritual would test our courage and resolve as we faced the darkest and most terrifying forces we had ever encountered. The ritual had consequences we hadn't foreseen. While it did put the malevolent spirit to rest, it left scars on our group and the school itself. Hollowbrook High would never be the same, and neither would we. The haunting had taken a toll on our minds and relationships, a chilling reminder that some secrets were best left undiscovered. As I walked away from Hollowbrook High for the last time, I couldn't help but reflect on the lessons I had learned. Some mysteries were better left unsolved, and some fears were better left unexplored. The experience had taught me about the fragility of the human psyche and the enduring power of the supernatural. Hollowbrook High would forever remain a place of both darkness and enlightenment, a testament to the lingering echoes of the past. The last story, The Haunting of Oakridge High. It was my first day at Oakridge High, and I couldn't have been more excited. The school, with its grand architecture and towering oaks, looked like something out of a Gothic novel. But as I walked through the front doors, an ominous feeling crept over me, like a shadow passing over the sun. I dismissed it as first-day jitters, but little did I know that Oakridge High held a dark secret, one that would plunge me into a nightmare I could never have imagined. Starting a new school is always nerve-wracking, but I was determined to make the best of it. My family had moved to the small town of Oakridge, and this high school was unlike any I had attended before. Its grandeur and history set it apart, but there was an eerie stillness in the air that sent shivers down my spine. As the days passed, I couldn't help but notice the whispers. Students huddled in groups, exchanging stories of strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena. Tales of ghostly apparitions, mysterious voices in the hallways, and classrooms that seemed to have a life of their own circulated among the students. I thought they were just trying to spook the new kid, but the fear in their eyes was genuine. One day, while exploring the school's history in the library, I stumbled upon a reference to an abandoned wing of Oakridge High. It had been sealed off for decades, and no one seemed to know why. Rumors suggested that it was haunted, and my curiosity got the best of me. I decided to investigate, enlisting the help of a few classmates who shared my fascination with the supernatural. We managed to find an old janitor who had worked at the school for years. He agreed to show us the way into the abandoned wing, as long as we promised not to disturb anything. As we entered the dark, cobweb-laden corridor, a musty odor filled the air. The walls were lined with lockers that had been untouched for decades, frozen in time. The atmosphere was heavy with the weight of forgotten memories. In the deepest corner of the abandoned wing, hidden behind a dislodged locker, we stumbled upon a journal. Its pages were brittle, and its ink had faded with age, but it was a first-hand account of a student who had attended Oakridge High in the 1950s. The journal contained eerie entries describing strange occurrences, chilling visions, and a growing sense of dread. As we delved deeper into the abandoned wing, the strange occurrences intensified. We heard footsteps echoing in empty hallways, whispers that seemed to come from nowhere, and the feeling of being watched. The journal had mentioned a malevolent presence, and it became clear that the supernatural forces that haunted the wing were not content to remain in the past. We decided to conduct a séance in an attempt to communicate with the entity that dwelled in Oakridge High. The séance unleashed a wave of paranormal activity that surpassed anything we had ever experienced. Objects moved on their own, doors slammed shut, and shadowy figures lurked in the corners of our vision. The school had become a battleground between the living and the dead. Determined to put an end to the haunting, we delved deeper into the school's history and uncovered a tragic event from the past. A student had disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and we believed that solving the mystery was the key to setting the restless spirit free. As we ventured into the darkest depths of Oakridge High, we prepared for a final confrontation with the malevolent entity that had tormented us. The final confrontation was more terrifying than anything we could have imagined. The malevolent entity, enraged by our intrusion, unleashed its full fury upon us. We were trapped in a nightmare of the supernatural, battling forces that defied understanding. Our resolve was tested, and the price of answers was steep. The malevolent entity was put to rest, but the toll it had taken on us was immeasurable. Oakridge High would never be the same, and neither would we. The haunting had left its mark on our minds and our souls, a chilling reminder that some secrets were best left buried. As I walked away from Oakridge High for the last time, I couldn't help but reflect on the lessons I had learned. The supernatural was real, and it could be far more terrifying than anything we could fathom. Oakridge High had been a crucible of fear, a place where the past bled into the present, and where the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred. The haunting had taught me that some mysteries were never meant to be unraveled, and some horrors were best left undisturbed.